please?
For which movie?
No, I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, how do I feel? Let's address the elephant in the room.
I just wanted to go on this little baby rant about Rachel Zegler, Disney's worst investment ever in the history of Disney investments.
Rachel Zegler is a loudmouth dope.
Snow White producer's son blames Rachel Zegler for poor box office.
She has this underlying anger and hatred in her that always has to take it like one step too far. So first and foremost, if you're going to be cast as Snow White, maybe appreciate the original Snow White.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
God forbid a woman dream about true love. We're all just sitting around here, oh, maybe I could be president one day. I hate men, I just want to be president.
Fastest way to tank your career, go out there and start running your mouth and trashing the original IP of the film you're in.
Great, okay? It's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath?
Rachel Zegler, Hollywood's self-proclaimed next big thing, drags a few loyal pals into a theater to watch her woke Snow White remake. The lights dim, the credits roll, and crickets. This wasn't just a flop, it was a $270 million face plant. And who's at the center of this fairy tale gone wrong? Our princess of unshakable confidence, Rachel Zegler. Welcome back to reality, Your Highness. As of April 1st, the wreckage is still smoldering. Disney's latest numbers confirm this disaster's only getting uglier.
Do you want to be Snow White or do you hate Snow White? Do you want to destroy Snow White? They went way too woke. They ended up kind of changing the whole movie. And
Rachel Zegler's massive ego and unrelenting woke crusade turned Snow White into a box office poison apple. Her charm didn't wake this sleeping giant, not even close. Rachel and her crew, Ilda, Jorge, Remy, Maria, roll up, popcorn buckets in hand, ready to cheer her name. Ilda's screaming it on Instagram stories like a talent show hype woman, but the theater's empty. So they try a TikTok skit. 2 tickets, please, the Regal guy asks. For which movie?
Please?
For which movie?
She's clutching her Snow White swag, smirking as if he's the idiot for not knowing. I mean, hello, it's Rachel Zegler. How could it not be Snow White? Silly peasant, doesn't he know she's the star? The camera pans to their theme buckets and cups, all giggles and goofy faces. Oh, Rachel, you thought this was a viral slam dunk? Your fame so obvious it's laughable, he'd ask. Instead, it's please laugh at my flop cringe. Her ego stealing the spotlight in the saddest way. And now, with the film tanking harder than a Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light campaign, that clip's aging like milk, mocked across X as the delusion of a star who thought she'd outshine the original.
Greatest Disney box office bomb in the history, Disney live action remakes, but certainly also the end of her career.
Rachel's clutching a bouquet in that empty theater, probably a pity gift because the box office wasn't handing out awards. She once said, people will wait in line to see my films despite my flaws.
To everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. That at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Oh, sweetie, the only line now is the internet ready to roast you. And roast they did. Sean Ono Lennon, John Lennon's son, called her a disconnected brat on March 31st per Yahoo, saying her flop was no surprise. Even with her career hitting $700 million total, thanks to Hunger Games, this second highest grosser of hers is a hollow victory. Proof her ego's outpacing her pull.
When a cartoon character that was voiced in the 30s has more humanity and charm than the actual person who was filmed on screen in live action, that's a problem.
Critics online say, welcome back to reality, princess. Social media's got empty seating charts and GoFundMe jokes. And then there's Danica Patrick, ex-race car driver turned Trump cheerleader who couldn't resist piling on. On March 30th, per Us Weekly, she reposted a video torching Rachel and the film's flop on her Instagram story, captioned with a savage bye-bye, subtle as a sledgehammer. Danica. The clip she shared blasted Rachel's corporate feminism meets TikTok activism, claiming studios like Disney benched her from Toy Story 5 and Pirates reboots. Rumors sure, but the shade stuck. Patrick, a card-carrying MAGA fan who stumped for Trump in 2024, clearly saw Rachel's anti-Trump rants as a personal invite to the roast. Her two-word kiss-off had X buzzing, some cheered, others cried foul, but it's peak 2025 chaos. A racer dunking on a princess while Disney's empire burns. The cleanup? More like a dumpster fire?
I just have to note the smugness and superiority on this 23, 25, something like that, girl's face. Young, a little bit of humility, you know? This is a story that's been around for a long, long time. You're not improving on it. So they took out the famous theme song, Someday My Prince Will Come, because it's not fair for a woman to live for love or want to find love or want to find a prince. They were not going to do that anymore, and they replaced it with the far more catchy song, this typical girl power anthem.
Feeling trapped by the walls that hold her, feeling stuck in the story they've told her.
Numbers don't lie, unlike some egos. Thursday previews, $3.5 million. Opening weekend, $43 million. For a $250 million plus film, Dumbo did better on less. The Little Mermaid remake got $95 million out the gate. Ad marketing, $150 to $200 million, and reshoots at $50 million more. Total, $450 to $500 million. To break even, they'd need $1 billion. With $87 million global after opening, it's a bloodbath. Fast forward to April 1st, $142 million worldwide per Collider, with a second weekend drop to $14 million, a 66% nosedive, worse than Dumbo's. Disney's now projecting a $115 million loss after ancillaries, says Deadline, but whisperings on X peg it closer to $300 million when the dust settles. That's not just a flop, it's a corporate catastrophe. Investors are probably drafting Zell memos while execs pray for a miracle over spring break.
Disney threw her under the bus, but I mean, not unjustifiably so. You can't be like, Rachel Zegler's innocent and all this. She did no damage to the box office. We're seeing it because of her.
Rachel says, I hope people wait in line to see me like the winged victory at the Louvre. Bold for a premiere with more tumbleweeds than tickets. Ian Miles Cheong on X called this Disney's worst live action remake ever. Now that clip's a viral punching bag, resurfacing as the film creators, with fans on social media cackling at the irony of her Louvre dreams versus empty seats.
BBC said Disney's Snow White has a major identity crisis. I mean, guys, every single one of these reviews is just absolutely brutal. And what you also need to know is that these are not politically driven reviews. I mean, most of them are from the camp that should be supporting Disney, that should be behind this new progressive take on Snow White, and yet they can't because the film is apparently just that bad.
It's a masterclass in hubris. Rachel dared it to fail with her woke antics. She trashed Snow White, calling Prince Charming a stalker, and the 1937 film a weird. Newsflash, people like fairy tales, the magic, the romance, the timeless vibe. Not everything has to be a woman winning solo, stomping on men to prove a point. Snow White and her prince saving each other, that's a win for both. A story with heart. But Rachel and Disney were too busy flexing feminist cred. She bragged about ditching the love story for empowerment, like, congrats, you turned a classic into a soapbox. Audiences don't want lectures, they want entertainment. Disney's girl boss obsession over fun sank this ship. Peter Dinklage griped about CGI dwarfs too, calling it a backwards move despite their progressive casting. Dwarf actors like Jason Acuna echoed him, per Daily Mail furious at lost jobs. The woke cleanup bombed harder than the evil queen's apple.
It's a bad thing. I'm not agreeing with it. One, because you're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Okay. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's for dwarfs. Why are you hiring Snow White and the seven average people?
Post-election, it's made Trump supporters never know peace. Classy, alienating half your audience, genius. Disney hired a social media babysitter after her posts racked up quadruple the trailer's views per Variety.
Trump wins, and Rachel decides to go on really just a psychopathic, demented rant, basically accusing all Trump supporters of being awful people, which is par for the course. I'm okay with that. But then she wished harm on Trump and all of his supporters for the next years to come. And you're so out of touch. You've never probably even spoken to a farmer or a rancher. You don't know any people to speak up who have issues filling up their tank. You've just been living in Hollywood, La La Land for so long.
Pedro Pascal called her an icon on March 31st per Tribune, but fans slammed him for backing a sinking ship too late. Her political grenades lit the fuse. The Gal Gadot shade is frosty. Smiles during filming turned to Rachel's pageant queen jab at the 2025 Oscars. Why? Gal's Israeli roots clashed with Rachel's Palestine posts. Posts so reckless Disney paid for Gadot's extra security after threats. Fans on X now blame Gadot's wooden acting too, calling her the true poison apple. But Rachel's ego started this fire. Rumors are that they had problems on set with Gal Gadot getting her lines wrong, and it was frustrating Rachel during filming, but that's the least of her worries. But it definitely doesn't help this film at all. Gal Gadot's acting in this film is horrific. I think I rolled my eyes at least 5 times during her lines.
Also, there's nothing wrong with wanting a man. Can we not have chivalry in this world anymore? There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I'd love for a man to come scoop me up and provide for me.
TLDR, the girls and the gays, we all want a man. We all dream about true love. love, so Disney, that is not outdated.
Rachel's woke disaster has execs sweating. If a $270 million fairy tale can bomb this hard because of preachy overreach, maybe audiences want escapism, not lectures. Insiders whisper Disney's toning down virtue, signaling for future remakes like Lilo and Stitch. Daily Mail reports Hollywood's in crisis mode, dumping trans actors and liberal scripts after Snow White's flop sparked an anti-woke U-turn. Rachel didn't just tank this, she might have accidentally saved Tinseltown from its sermon spree. Rachel's ego wrote a check her talent couldn't cash. She thought she'd preach her way to stardom, but that woke posturing made Snow White a cautionary tale. Audiences don't line up for sanctimony, they want stories. This one's DOA. Did Rachel kill this film, or was it doomed? Like if you love the tea and subscribe for more Hollywood train wrecks. See you tomorrow for another video, people.